Hello everybody, it is Canadagraphs here, and today, as you are watching this video, it is January 11th, 2024, and today is an interesting, bittersweet moment because it is the start of filming for Superman and Lois Season 4, which is also the final season. If you haven't seen the news during the off-season, because I know a lot of people, sometimes they don't really notice the off-season news until it's right there in front of their face, Superman and Lois has been confirmed to be ending after this season because their current network, the CW, is moving away from real television and going with less quality television and purchased programming from cheaper sources. But that aside, we still have one more season, also a shorter season. I think it's 10 episodes. If it's 13, someone correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure it's 10 episodes. And there's some changes to the cast. A lot of the main cast that we know from the first 3 seasons have been cut. They are probably coming back in a guest role for 1, 2, 3 episodes at some point throughout the season. But the only people who are coming back as regulars is the Kent family. Jonathan, Jordan, Bitsie, and of course Clark. Jonathan, Jordan, Lois, and Clark are the only regulars that are coming back from the first 3 seasons. I believe we will still have Lex Luthor back. Outside of that, to be determined who comes in for how many episodes. Several actors have talked on different places and said, oh, I'll be back, you know, in some way, shape, or form that were part of the regular cast from prior, but we don't know who and when. But what we do know is the cast that we're familiar with has made their way back to town, and they have started getting ready for the season. First one we saw was Michael Bishop had posted a photo on Instagram saying he was back in Canada. And of course, you know, he's Australian, so he got here like a day or two earlier than everyone else, probably to get, adapting to the change, especially because it's summer where he's from. It's winter here. It's going to be snowing tomorrow, today. If you're watching this today, I'm recording this yesterday on the 10th. It's supposed to snow tomorrow. So they're going to be starting their work year on the first day of snow. Yay. But yeah, he posted he was back in Vancouver. The next day we had posts from Bitsie Tulloch on Twitter showing that she was back getting doing work at the wardrobe department to get fitted, because they have to make sure clothes fit a certain way. You just assume they're going to, but they want it to look down to the minutest detail, so you know they always make sure. We also then had one of the directors, and I don't know what his full-time job is with Superman and Lois, but he has been helping with scouting, Ian Samuel. He posted a couple of photos of him and Gregory Smith out doing some scouting for locations, and they were out at maybe like a rock quarry or something. I couldn't really be sure where they are, but I mean, you're probably looking at it right now. So he posted, you know, they're out doing that, and then the next day Alex Garfin posted about it was time for him to have his to get a haircut for the show. That's something they always do also. When you're doing a show like that, you don't decide how your hair looks, they do. So you just go in, usually with your hair extra shaggy so they can cut it down to whatever length they want. The last thing you want to do is come in with your hair shorter than they want, so you just let it grow out probably for the last week or two before you get there, and let them cut it down to the length they want it. So, you know, he was mentioning, yeah, it's time for the haircut and all that stuff. Some of the things we do know about this season, we know the Kent farm will not be where it used to be. I don't know if they have plans to rebuild it somewhere, because it was a built for series location. They literally made that house just for the show, and it was on a piece of rented land, which they were told at the end of season 3, we're not renewing your lease here, so get out. So they had to take all of that off of the land. I don't know if that can be rebuilt somewhere else and they just rented a new piece of property and rebuilt it there, or if they have different plans for how the Kents are going to live in Smallville, because they're still expected to be in Smallville, because the Smallville city studio that they created outside the city is still standing, at least as of the last time I was out there a couple of months ago. So I expect them to still spend a fair bit of time out there. So yeah, I expect it to still be Smallville heavy. I do expect some content to be in Metropolis, especially with it being the last season and all that. But as of right now, yeah, I would say expect it to still be Smallville centric, even though we may not have the traditional Kent farm we had the first 3 seasons. I don't know what they're going to do in aspect to that, but we'll see. As for the show's story, I mean, we know it ended, the series ended with Superman and Doomsday fighting on, was it the moon or just in space? I can't remember now. That's how it ended. It's hard to say how it starts. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that things are just going to be hunky-dory off the beginning, even though there's 10 episodes left, so I think there's a chance for an episode or 2 Clark is missing. You'll still see him in show because we as the audience will see what he's up to, but they on the ground will have no idea what's going on with him, and to them he'll just be missing. I don't know where they go from that. Doomsday is going to cost a lot of money for CGI effects, and another thing you may not have heard if you weren't keeping up with this stuff on a day-to-day basis is they were getting large budget cuts to the show, which is part of the reason they had to let a lot of the actors go. So they're going to be working on a lesser budget than previous seasons, and that's going to come into play when it comes to doing things like big CGI fights. And I know a lot of people are nervous about that. I am too, I'm not going to lie, I am too. But I do have confidence in this team that works on the show, that they can pull it off, because they have pulled off things that I didn't think were going to work well leading up to this. They just keep not missing. So fingers crossed, one more year they've got to not miss. But yeah, that's the news. Officially, we are starting Superman season 4 filming, the final season, today, January 11th. By the time this is up, they probably have already got to wherever they're filming the first day, whether it's on location or at the studio or at the Smallville city set. They'll be there by the time I've posted this, more than likely. I don't know when I personally will have any updates on them, because I don't know their schedule. Like I said, the one shot that they showed of them scouting, definitely well outside the city. Like, I'm not traveling to wherever that is. That's well outside the city. It might be a week, 2 weeks, even honestly a month before I find something out. Especially if they aren't doing much Metropolis stuff at the beginning. It'll be hard for me to get information on that. But that is it. So when they air, to be determined. I would say best case scenario, if you want it right away, it's probably like June. Realistically, I think they're going to hold it till the fall season, because it's still going to make them money and they're going to want to profit from it as much as they can. So I think September, October date is more realistic in my mind, but if you're looking for it as fast as possible, I think your best hope is, June. But that's it. Superman and Lois, season 4, now underway, and hopefully I get shots soon. See you. Bye.